Hi guys, it's Mark from War Factory, and today I'm going to be presenting to you the first wave of 2020, the first wave that we're releasing 2nd January, so just for the new year. We're going to have some new infantry units for DAS 9047, and those boxes going to be the ASACOM heroes, so the box with the new heroes, well, new heroes with the old repacked heroes, but with a new composition of them, because some of these miniatures were only available so far in campaign boxes from old DAS tactics. Now these are re-released and again available to you as one separate box, so a must-have for the Allies players we're going to be talking about. Second box is the Zombie Grenadier Squad, which is the basic infantry unit from the Blutkreuz starter set. So far it wasn't available separate. Now you can have them in a separate box. The next unit is in a very similar situation, so these are the Migos from the Mythos starter set, so from the Lilith's Coven. These are close combat Migos you're gonna have in a separate box this January. And the last one is the one that has real new miniatures, real new cards, so the things that you haven't seen on the battlefield yet. And this is Justin and Co 6, and this is not the normal ones like you could already seen or have used in resin, which were available from DAS Studios and for some time from distributors. Now these are new plastic release with a new ability card, so a new thing to talk about. Okay, so this is the units I'm going to be talking about today. Enjoy! We're gonna start with the Allied Heroes. The ASACOM Heroes is a very important box for any Allied player that wants to use these guys on the battlefield, that wants to have success on the battlefield, because Allies have the most powerful spies in the game, and two of them come in this box. These are the Priest and the Chef. Priest is super good, of course, when you deploy one of them, which is not so easy because you need to roll for the spy ability. But if you do roll for the spy ability and suddenly one of the spies appears on your enemy's lines, because they spawn next to an enemy unit, they appear out of nowhere like spies because they were disguised among the enemy lines. So Chef can simply burn a lot of things. He has his flamethrowers, more like kitchen flamethrowers he uses to kill the enemies. So this is useful especially for giving out suppression as all flame weapons. Also his dual blow torches, because this is the name of the weapon, they all have the flame ability that makes units suppressed, and there is also no save. Sadly, it's not an explosion weapon, so you have a set amount of dice you can use, so it's okay. But the real deal is that he has lucky, and he's expert with his kitchen knives, so there's a lot of damage you can deal around that there is no save against. So he's gonna be super good against enemy command squads, against enemy infantry units that could save themselves in cover, or let's say they're hard to get to. This guy can just flame them out or cut them with his kitchen knives. So the Priest is my most favorite unit here, because he's very efficient and very easy to use thanks to his explosion on dynamite. So similar to the cultist units from the new Mythos box, he can use explosion dynamite in close combat. That means there is no save against this weapon, and you roll the amount of dice equal to the amount of miniatures you're attacking. The dynamite is also very good against lower armor vehicles, so it can easily kill the enemy command vehicle. And he's also lucky, just like the Chef, so you can reroll any dice, and he's expert with this dynamite, so it's very easy to just spawn somewhere, roll, let's say, 5 dice against the enemy command squad, reroll the misses because you only miss on shield, and eliminate them. So a very cheap way of eliminating important enemy combatants or command vehicles if you want to do that. So the next two are Rosie and Bazooka Joe. They are more popular because Rosie was available as a resin kit. Now you have her in plastic too, and Bazooka Joe was part of the Battle of Zverograd big box that we had for 2 players. Now he's also a separate release. Bazooka Joe is very good because of his officer and Black Ops. Also he's expert on his grenade launcher, but that's for situations where he's not commanding, and usually you want him in command. His Black Ops allows you to earn the initiative to be first in many action rounds, which is super important. He's my favorite in Desert Scorpions, when you have these fragile vehicles that you need to watch out after, and they need to move first. You need to act first, usually, to move out of the harm's way, to shoot with your raid and then move away. So he's very good in these armies, and also in a command vehicle, because thanks to his officer you have 2 actions, you can reroll this thanks to the command vehicle, so that's a good mix. Rose is a usual go-to when you have a lot of armor on the battlefield. She's a mechanic, so she can makeshift repair some of the armor you're using, and she's also an expert with her bazooka, so she's a good addition if you need some last resort anti-tank weapon for 5 points. It's a no-brainer. And the last one is the most, let's say, hard to judge, because it's Sergeant Victory that is for now like other superhuman, the Winter Child. He's banned for European Championship for now because we weren't sure his balance, and playing against him generated a bad play experience for new players. Now it has been fixed because the cheat death ability that allowed him to stay alive for a very, very long time if the enemy was lucky now works only once. So that was balanced, and with this 13 points I think he's a very good and important addition to any allied army, and balanced now because it used to be a bit too hard to kill, especially for the new guys, with his move of 6 and 12, so he's fast like a plane. He hits hard with his VK pistols, his cheat death, he's expert on them, so very mobile, very hard to kill weapons platform basically that runs around and shoots everything with his pistols. Also a very cool miniature on a small stand. And now really balanced and good to go for. So these are the allied ASOCOM heroes you can use. So now let's go to the zombies. The Zombie Grenadier Squad is the basic frontline infantry for the Blutkreuz. So they're not the cheap cannon fodder like the brainless zombies or the suicide ones that you use en masse to kill enemy armor or basically everything with the brainless ones. The Zombie Grenadier Squad has Panzerfaust, which is important for anti-armor usage and always comes in handy when there is some tank nearby. But their biggest advantage is that the fact there are zombies armed with ranged weapons, so they gain the cover safe anywhere they go. Just watch out for artillery and flames, and they are very, very potent at just staying alive and shooting the enemy with their machine gun and submachine guns. So this is just a basic ranged infantry squad that Blutkreuz really needs, in my opinion. So if you're playing this faction and have the starter set, I think you're gonna admit that one more of these guys to have some ranged combat unit to support your troops when they're advancing is quite useful. Now let's go to the Migo Assault Squad. I always have problem playing with these guys. It's hard to use them, but I think it's because we don't play a lot on buildings, because they're very good at clearing out buildings with their once per game Fugi from Yugov. So this is a ability that allows them to attack with spores all units are in range 1. So either you use them to clear out big amounts of enemy infantry in one place, and Mythos doesn't have artillery, so this is easier to use when you're not fielding mercenaries. So you just jump somewhere with their free move and then explode with the fungi that damages all of the units around you. Or they're very good at clearing out buildings because the range 1 goes 1 floor up and 1 floor down, so you just jump inside a building, explode inside, use the fungis to explode. And then of course they have close combat because they're a dedicated close combat unit with charge, and they have some very good claws that can easily damage enemy armor. In close combat against infantry they're gonna die a bit too easy because they didn't have damage resistant or anything like this, but still a very good unit to clear out big amounts of enemy infantry with the exploding fungi from Yugov. The last unit we're going to talk about is the Justin & Co. 6. This is a great unit to use in any army that has reload weapons. So basically any big artillery pieces, like the new Japanese walkers, like the Lothar, maybe the Long Tom if you're using the heavy allied walkers, then you need these girls to pain of reloading, because with their special ability ammo dump, as you can see, each of the girls carries a lot of boxes with her full of ammo. You can have a free reload action on these units. This is going to be also very efficient on recoilless rifle units for the allies that can double the amount of dice and then need to reload, so this is going to be really useful for them. So basically in any army that has the reload, this is for 8 points. A free action to reload means you're going to be earning at least 2 or 3 activations during the whole game that you would spend these actions on reloading. Instead of that, you just sit there and rain fire on the enemy. And of course, apart from that, they are the classic Justin & Co. that we know for many years, and they allow you to repair vehicles. So it's just good to keep them in the back lines, reload the reload weapons, and maybe repair some of the vehicles that come by, because they just need to stand next to the artillery weapon. They don't need to perform special actions to reload. It's just a passive ability. And of course there are mercenaries, so anybody can field them. So if you're fielding artillery, if you're using anything that needs to reload, lasers, recoilless weapons, these guns are a must-have, and they're gonna be very easy and very proficient to use. Okay, so that was the new wave of units. You had a close look at them, I hope. Available January the 2nd in your local game store or at War Factory. If you don't have Dust in your local game store, please let us know. We're gonna contact them with our offer, and maybe if they know that you're gonna be buying from them, you can start a small, nice gaming community there, for which I hold my fingers crossed. Okay, so that's all for today. This episode should air just before New Year, so Happy New Year to all of you guys, and see you in 2020.